Hello, and it's good to have you join us again on Maritime Radar. The Nigerian Ports Consultative Council is a body that advises, advocates, and consults on port development in Nigeria, with a goal to improve the efficiency of its port system. NPCC, with a mandate on advocacy, advisory, arbitration, and consulting, brings to fore solutions to port development. The Council develops policy frameworks for the port system, create a database of port industry statistics, support implementation of the National Single Window Project, monitor its progress, and provide advisory support for its implementation. Assessing Nigeria's port operation challenges and the implementation of the National Single Window are some of the issues that will be on the front burner on today's show. I am Norma Obiaswala. The drastic drop in vessel calls into Nigerian ports has plunged operations in the maritime sector into a major crisis as businesses continue to nosedive, following the forest crisis and inflation currently militating against the economy. Those affected are terminal operators, shipping companies, truckers, licensed custom agents, also known as freight forwarders, amongst others. Consequently, the volume of vessel calls, that is the number of vessels coming into the country, has reduced so drastically that terminal operators and shipping companies are struggling to remain afloat. According to checks, there has been a drop of 4.5% in the number of vessel calls into Nigerian ports, from 3,957 in 2022 to 3,778 in 2023. Reports from the Nigerian Ports Consultative Council in its quarterly meeting show that container traffic declined by 6.8%. For instance, cargo import dropped by 20%, containerized goods by 30%, and vehicle import by 55%. Vessels that previously came into Nigeria with 4,000 containers now come with just 300. I must say that these statistics are worrisome as an import-dependent nation. The same decline is also seen in export. Before we get further into today's lineup on the show, let's find out the latest in maritime news.
Access roads leading to the ports in Nigeria play a pivotal role in the efficiency of the ports. The Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Adegboyega Oyetola, had in 2023 listed 15 roads connecting Nigeria's seaport that required urgent and comprehensive rehabilitation, seeking collaboration with the Ministry of Works. It is now over a year since both ministers agreed to fix these roads, with Works Minister Dave Umahi promising to take action without delay. Nigeria's port access roads, particularly those leading to Apapa Port in Lagos, are generally in poor condition, riddled with potholes, uneven surfaces, and inadequate drainage system, further worsening the traffic situation on the roads, leading to significant congestion, delays in cargo movement, and substantial economic losses as a result of the inability to easily access the port. Some of the truckers affected by the state of the port access roads speak on the impact of the bad roads and life on the streets while they wait for their turn into the ports.
The bad road is affecting us because when the road is bad, it's affecting us in the way that before we could move from one place to the other place, we are going to wait for other vehicles to move from that place because we cannot all rush at once because of the bad road. So it's affecting us as well. The hoodlums, they are really affecting us as well because many trucks you see on road now, some of them they have back rear lights and they even have side lights that are working for other trucks to know this is a truck way. But those hoodlums, when they see you sleeping in bits at night, they will just go under your truck, then cut those wires, and they will even draw your gas. And sometimes when they draw your gas and you don't know, as you want to start your truck, you cut. So the last man will tow your truck and they will not know maybe it is the hoodlums that are doing all those stuff. And they are even hurting our containers, taking goods that doesn't belong to them and affecting us in the way that they will say, okay, the driver will be the one to pay for the goods, and which we don't know anything about.
Governor Sanwo-Olu kan fún security to tight láti Àpápá dé Onípàn. Àwọn ọmọ olè wà bẹ́ẹ̀ tó ń gbé kọ̀tẹ́nà wa tó ń rán àdẹ́bà lọ sẹ́wọ̀n. Ọ̀pọ̀ dẹ́bà ti wà nínú ẹ̀wọ̀n tẹ́bà lọ PCC ọ̀pọ̀ dẹ́bà kọ̀tẹ́nà ló wà bẹ́ẹ̀. Ojú òpó tí ò dáa àdúpẹ́ díẹ̀ fọlọ́ gọ́vnà wa Bolaji Sunmola wọ́n bá wa ṣe àwọn ibìkan bọ́ wọn ti ṣe àwọn ibìkan tán. Ìkan tó yẹ máa ń kọ̀ sí ojú òpó tí ò dáa ni pé ó máa ń da kọ̀tẹ́nà nù tí a bá ti ń bọ̀ sí ọ̀nà tó ti bend kò sí gómìnà fẹ́ gbà a máa fẹ́ try láti rọ́ọ̀sì pé ká gbà bẹ̀ ibẹ̀ yẹn lè ó lè tiẹ́ pé orí ti lọ tán ó máa kú bọ́dì lẹ́yìn ó máa fi kọ̀tẹ́nà sí ẹ̀yìn kọ̀tẹ́nà máa ṣubú ibẹ̀ làwọn ọmọ olè tí wọ́n máa jí òtókè ọ̀nà tí ò bá ti dátà lè sáré kọjá ń bẹ̀ àwọn ọmọ olè tí wọ́n máa jà wá lólè ń bẹ̀ èmi tó bá bọ́lẹ̀ mo ti rí dẹ́bà tó bọ́lẹ̀ tó lọ bá wọn pé tán ó kàdà kọjá sọ wọn pé wọ́n ti gbé kọ̀tẹ́nà ó bọ́lẹ̀ ó lẹ̀ ṣàlórí wọ́n ṣàlórí tó pé ọ̀nà tí ò da ni mo bẹ̀rẹ̀ Gọ́vnà Sanwó-Olú wọ́n tún àìní ìjọba Èkó wọ́n tún àmọ́ kọ́ tún máa fi iṣẹ́ sí ọ̀nà yìí láti Ìjọra sí Alákà kò dáa abẹ Gọ́vnà Sanwó-Olú wọ́n ṣiṣẹ́ bẹ̀ wọ́n àwọn òṣèré wọn ti dáwọ́ dúró pọ̀ kọ́dún bàbá ajá àti abẹ wọn kọjọ tó náà kọ́dẹ̀ fún ṣàmà wa ní pàwà láti jẹ́ torí gbogbo ọ̀nà yìí sí wọn pọ̀ lọ pé ṣàmà wa ló jẹ́ ká sì máa dúpẹ́ báyìí àti tẹ́bẹ̀ sí wọn táwọn fáìn báyìí sí tẹ́lẹ̀ ti máa rí wa àní ẹ̀ní kò nílé súnmọ́ wa a máa dé tí a máa rọ́ọ̀fù ni bọ̀ nígbà tí ṣàmà wọlé sí wọ́n jẹ́ kékeré ìrídìí fún wa díẹ̀ mo wà sí ọ̀pọ̀ tó bá pé ṣàmà ti wà ní ẹlẹ́gánsà ni ẹni bá wà níbà yìí ọ̀nà yẹn ti máa mú ẹjọ́ tó náà kọ́ bá wa bẹ Gọ́vnà Sanwó-Olú kọ́ bá wa tó yà lórí àwa kọ̀ǹtẹ́nà kọ́kà wa náà kó èèyàn làwa náà a ní fámìlì àníyàwó ńlé owó iná a rí àfihàn ọmọ lọ skul ọmọ wà poli ọmọ wà ní kíni wa tó pé àwa náà respect pé táwọn ò bá jẹ́ èèyàn káwọn ọmọ wa náà jẹ́ gómìnà lọ́la àbí pẹ́sidẹ̀ntì lọ́la kí wọ́n fi lè tún ìlú ṣe.
Importers and exporters experience high transportation costs, prolonged transit time, and heightened risk of accidents leading to loss of lives. Now, the poor state of the roads brings severe congestion, resulting in long queues of trucks waiting to access the port, causing major gridlock and delays in cargo delivery. Ghana has commenced work to develop a national action plan to cut greenhouse gas emissions from shipping in line with the International Maritime Organization's GHG strategy. Spearheaded by the Ghana Maritime Authority in collaboration with the IMO's Green Voyage 2050 program, the initiative was kick-started at a national workshop in Accra, bringing together government officials, industry leaders, and academics. Director General of the Ghana Maritime Authority, Dr. Kamaldeen Ali, noted that the exercise will be taken seriously and the GMA will work closely with stakeholders. Ali emphasized the importance of strong partnerships for Ghana to tap into the expanding maritime job space, adding that population growth opens up opportunities in the maritime. Astrid Dispert, Program Manager at IMO, underlined Ghana's leadership in the region and her commitment to a national action plan demonstrates strong leadership in embracing this transition and leveraging economic opportunities. Through collaboration and strategic investments, Ghana can bridge the gap in meeting future demands for green jobs and skilled seafarers.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is Maritime Radar. The National Single Window Project was launched in April 2024 by President Bola Tinubu as a pioneering cross-government system designed to streamline trade facilitation by integrating and syncing data from various government agencies to improve economic efficiency. Its implementation for Nigeria will mean improved port efficiency, revenue collection, and drive economic transformation. Since 2014, Nigeria has made efforts twice to create and implement the single window without success. Experts believe that for the national single window to work in Nigeria, all relevant agencies in the nation's trade and revenue system must embrace a singular purpose backed by an unwavering government support. The centrality of customs in this ecosystem is undeniable, but success requires a symbiotic relationship where each stakeholder plays its part with precision and commitment. Technology has often been cited as the cornerstone of the single window system, but technology alone is not the solution. As industry await the successful implementation this time, it's a call to reflect on the peculiarities of Nigeria's trade environment, incorporating user-friendly designs, interoperability with existing systems to accommodate future growth with his critical reflection on why the past attempts failed. In this conversation with Bolaji Sunmola, Chairman, Nigerian Ports Consultative Council, he shares how he can address port operations challenges to nip in the bud the looming loss of jobs and businesses and NPCC's National Single Window implementation. Stay with us. It's good to have you join us again on the show.
It's my pleasure.
Okay, let's start this conversation looking at NPCC's outlook for 2025. What should we be expecting? What should the industry be expecting from NPCC?
At first, basically, Nigerian Ports Consultative Council is about development. It's about harnessing all the various port resources, users per se, for a sustainable growth, to promote peace within our port, to ensure that every arms of organizations or operators within that port ecosystem operate maximally and optimally. And where issues arises, we can easily come to see that all that are resolved amicably without disrupting the flows of operation. Basically, that is what NPCC stands for. So our outlook for 2025 basically will be to promote sustainable growth, to ensure that the port growth we are envisaging continues, to ensure that there's engagement, positive engagement with all practitioners within the industries, and also our quarterly interagency interaction and coordination are stepped up to another level whereby it will be more robust, it will be more encompassing, it will ensure that all various voices are heard and where issues are, that we can properly harness it. That's our outlook. And of course, to see that the government policies are in line or are being interpreted or are being put into positive practice by all practitioners within the industry.
Okay, I saw your media press briefing on National Single Window. So what's the approach to its implementation?
Yes, Single Window has been our baby, like I said in the presentation we made there. Over the years, 15 years, that keep recurring back to me. That time, our late chairman was in the saddle of President Momoro Tumba Folari. We led the delegation to Ghana to go and study where their port environment are more peaceful and looking better. And of course, we found that it was more or less like you are in a foreign country, not in Africa, because you hardly see the movement of people within the port. It's so scanty, and all the trailers or all the vehicles in operations are orderly and all that. And we asked, what is the secret to this? And of course, we saw every arms of operations are actually mechanized, let me put it that way. That is, everything is electronical. All clearings and all issues, all agencies of the ports are behind computer, ensuring that all documentation and everything went smoothly. So in further discussion with them, we find that they have even started a form of single window operations within that, and that we have intended to bring back to Nigeria. And of course, we did our report to start meeting various government agencies to see that this is done. So for it to have come into a major fulcrum, a major discourse, for it to have seen that an agency of even the government is sponsoring, or government has even delegated an arm of the government to see that single window is implemented, delights us greatly. And we know and we believe at NPCC that is the right direction to go for the Nigerian port system to be improved, to be more profitable, and that will increase our cargo dwell time at the same time.
Okay, the minister says the National Single Window implementation will reduce cargo costs by 25%, if I'm correct. So, but we have the challenge of driving clearance time, transaction cost, volume of processed cargo. So, this has not made our port to be competitive. So how can we ensure this?
Yeah, all of this that you have mentioned are related to just because the turnaround vessels, time of the vessels are increased. For now, I don't have the statistic to say maybe it's 2 days, 3 days, or 4 days. because you know that vessel sitting at the port, the number of days inside, it's costing the ship owners money. There will be charges and all that, which every one of us will invariably pay for. But that has because of the cargo clearance system which we operate. You can see everywhere is clogged, everywhere is congested to get the cargoes out, to have documentation. The custom has their own allocated log room. The other agencies of the government are there making things a bit cumbersome for proper things to be done. Not to come to the ubiquitous scanning system, which today might work, tomorrow it might not work, and all of this are contributing to ensuring that cargoes coming out of our ports are delayed. And we believe very, very strictly to the Nigerian Ports Consultative Council that if all of these are harnessed and encourage everybody on the platform to ensure this is done, all these problems will go away.
You just went to Ghana about 15 years ago, if you are correct. So what exactly? So that means we are several years back. That means 15 years ago, Ghana has moved on. So from your councils, because you do a lot of advocacy, arbitration and all that. So from the council's point of view, what do you think is the solution that will make us competitive, that will make our ports efficient, that will not see all these issues of evacuation, call up, we see gridlock, we see cargoes, even decline in cargoes. Neighboring countries are taking away the cargoes that should come to Nigeria. So what is the one-stop solution to this?
Simply,
if you are speaking to the minister or heads of these agencies to address this.
Basically, I will just tell you, remove the bureaucracy involving cargo clearing. There are too many bureaucracies, too many hands are involved in the clearing of our cargo. To talking to a client, to a friend who runs a clearing, freight forwarding, a clearing agency, I said, sometimes it takes them 3-4 months for their cargoes to come out through the port. And the customs issues are there. Before their cargo are forwarded to Nigeria, we have a CNF price or charges which they have paid. And immediately this cargo coming to Nigeria, the people at the port will be raising additional costs and all that, and this causes delays. So from that perspective, we believe that sometimes it takes them 1 month to even clear custom, talking of other issues that can come into it as bad as that. So we want to ensure that all these bureaucracies are removed. All the parties should have to be seeing what is happening for any particular invoicing or for any particular consignment that is inward bound. Every agency that needs to work on it are there to ensure that all that they need to do in the release of the cargo for outward freight movement outside the port is done swiftly. Within 24 hours, we should be able to get your cargo cleared. Basically, because that's what the single window entails. Senegalese came at the single window forum we have. I think Ivory Coast and all of those made their presentation, and we can see a huge reduction in wastages of time, documents and money that this will enable Nigeria to save by operating a single window system. We cannot wait to have this within us.
This single window has failed twice. Do you think it's going to work this time?
It must work.
But we will take that question after this short break. Please stay with us.
Africa needs its own storytellers, people who understand the continent because they're from it. People who know that news is more than just a conversation starter, it's our stories. Because these stories run deeper than headlines and segments. It's about digging deeper to get the facts and telling the human side of every single story, not just the echoes from foreign headlines and perspectives. It's time to take back our narratives and share them in our voices. The birth of Africa's New Age reporting, and this is where it begins, right here at News Central TV, the stories that put Africa first.
Welcome back if you are just joining us. This is Maritime Radio and I still have with me Bolaji Sunmola. He is the chairman, Nigerian Ports Consultative Council. Before we went on that break, I had asked, the national single window has failed twice. Do you think it's going to work this time? What policy reforms or regulatory frameworks do you want to see that will drive this time?
I think for the very first time, like I said, since the time we went on our own study, had our own report, which was something, this particular government are serious about it. And I think the Honorable Minister, too, has done a lot to ensure that we have come to this stage. Because for once, a roadshow is put in place, whereby every ounce of people in ports had discussed this. I was quite marveled at the number of presentations we had at the last outing at Marriott, and the drive at which I see people, the customer talk, the cargo owners, the freight LCCI, Manufacturer Association of Nigeria, the clearing freight body has talked, and we were there too. And this has shown that we are serious about this. And in a private discourse with the organizer of this, it's not going to stop there. And a lot of undercurrent work are going. And also, the federal government has, I think, has given a mandate to, because this has now, that single window before the end of this year must be put in place. So we want to believe the government is more than serious to ensure that the single window is put into operation.
Okay, I read through what the Customs CG said concerning the single window. He talked about the history of it. He talked about why it failed 2 times and what preferred solution the way forward. But what is critical here is not only technology to make it work, it's the collaboration of the heads of agencies that is going to drive this, drive the implementation. And behind this is also the political will to ensure this works. So this time, do you see collaboration? Because it's like, okay, MPA want to pioneer it, Customs wants to do it. Do you really see collaboration? Because without this collaboration, I don't see it working again.
Oh yes, I've seen that. Like I said, there's a huge collaboration in Abuja earlier before the roadshow in Marriott. I think the federal government actually domiciled the leadership of the single window to federal inland revenue. And that is why we had what we had, a successful one, I said, to collaborate to ensure that this works. And they have done a great job, kudos to them. They have not only stopped at what they have been told, they have ensured every ounce of the ports system are in there. Nigerian Ports were there, Nigerian Railway were there, Shippers Council, NIMASA, everybody. You can even see the DJ NIMASA was one of the panels, and the freight forwarders too who were called in. So it has been an open discourse that we had. And some of the many, because I keep referring to this, because that is the roadshow that we have seen to show the seriousness of the government. And you cannot have such an elaborate presentation, even from far as wide as Singapore, Kuala Lumpur, China, and all those present. India had come to tell us what it is and what the benefits that will come out of this. So I'm convinced in my heart that the government, the present government, through the Federal Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, are serious to ensure that single window comes to birth.
The last time you were here, you were running us through updates from NPCC on the plan to establish a research and training department. So how far has that been? Because we really need it. We really need these statistics to work with. As a journalist, I truly need it too. So it's also needed to also know where we are and know, and as be able to ascertain our growth, whether we're moving forward or not.
I think at this point I'll talk a bit more about Nigerian Ports Consultative Council. Kudos to where we are now, because we are actually working at repositioning this wonderful organization for a statement of more delivery and being more purposeful and useful to the ports community as a whole. One of which is the one you have mentioned, research and development. We hold this strictly to us because it's very, very important that we know what we have done in the past, okay? and know what we are doing now, and then we should be able to go ahead into the future to be able to position ourselves. Most of the Nigerian ports presently, we found out, are left behind. We are not at par with most of the other modern ports around us, even within the West Africa. So we want to catch up. So we believe by sharing information, by looking at what we have done in the past, we should be able to correct where we want to be. We must have a prognosis of where we want to be in the next 5, 10, 15 years. And this we can only do with research data, because data don't lie. They say it as it is. So that's what we believe. And we believe when we come up with all this information and we are able to share with the ministry, with the practitioners, with the ship owners, with all sorts of people, it will help us in be able to build an efficient port system.
So any timeline to this, to having it on board?
Oh, this year, definitely. Oh, they will, like you said, I don't know whether you mentioned it though, we have a committee that has fully established on this to ensure that we have given ourselves a timeline. Of course, resources is an impediment, but we will see within the little resources we operate with to ensure that we are always supportive of this system anytime we are called upon to be able to deliver. Well, it's a 24 hours work for us, and we are not resting our heads until this is battered.
I will be delighted to really see this research and training department being established at NPCC, and also hope and pray that the heads of agencies will collaborate to be able to drive the national single window, so that we'll be able to have a good port operation, we'll be able to have a competitive port amongst, because we are the giant of Africa. It's been Bolaji Sunmola. He is the chairman, Nigerian Ports Consultative Council. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for the solutions, and I wish NPCC well. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. On behalf of all members of the council, thank you for having us, because it's not just me you have, it's all members of the council who are working tirelessly to see that NPCC is repositioned for more product delivery to support our port system. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much, sir. And that's a wrap on this week's episode. I hope the solutions provided will help address the endemic challenges in the Nigerian ports. Every week, join us on Maritime Radar as we explore how Africa can embrace political will in implementing policies that will ensure maritime sector development. You can also expect the latest in maritime news and industry insights right here. I am Norma Obiaswalo. Many thanks for your time, and see you again next week.